The law in Canada at the time was conscription. We had to go, able people had to go in when they was 17.
When I finished my schooling, I had nowhere to go, so the service was open to join up, so that's why I joined up.
18 when I joined up. I joined up on my birthday.
1940, I volunteered. I was 19.
I joined the Army in 1940. I didn't like it. I didn't like the route, so I managed to get a discharge. And then I joined the Navy, and the rest is history.
As soon as I became of age, I volunteered for active service. Dad put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Good boy," and mother wept.
I was told to report at April 29th, 1943. I was 18. I had my 19th birthday when I was still in the Air Force.
I got there when I was 12. I went to school till I was 17. I did some work for a few months till I turned 18. And then I enlisted in the Marines.
Just graduated. No, we volunteered. We were definitely in the Army. We were in the Army as final year medical students.
I joined the Calgary Highlanders back in 1936. Of course, I had to lie to say I was older.
But being the age of 18, they did not want to ship because of my age of 18 until I become of 19. So when I became of age of 19, then I was shipped down to divert for brigade training, and then left in the month of March 44 to land over in Liverpool, England.
Well, I took my small vehicle training in Morecambe and Blackpool for a month. And from there, I was sent to Pwllheli, North Wales.
My first action was just north of Ortona, Casino. Casino was a large battle, and it was a bad one for us. It was a bad one for everybody.
For D-Day, we lost 7 ships, 7 vessels. We thank God that we weren't blown up. We went in quickly, hit hard and fast, and created maximum destruction in a short period of time.
And just as I realized that there was something funny about the trees, then I realized there was a tank under each tree. Then I got hit. And, you know, there was a big explosion in the cockpit and smoke and everything. And I looked down at my legs. I saw, oh, I got a bullet hole in my left foot. And then I saw that I had a joint in my right leg, which wasn't there before. It was a joint in between the ankle and the knee. And when I looked at it, I saw there was a hole in my flying boot and blood was pouring out.
The first torpedo was back aft. Anybody who was in the magazine was killed outright, instantly. You got shells that weighed 35 pounds. I don't know how many thousands we had. And when they hit the back aft of the ship, it just blew the stern to smithereens. Anybody who was in there was killed instantly. And everybody who was in the magazine or below deck, they were killed outright. Only us lucky ones that are on the surface, like on the guns, managed to escape.
So as we came down the hill, they assaulted us and ambushed us and let us walk into their camp. And then they surrounded the camp, so we couldn't get out. So it was really hard for us. We were fighting defensively, taking a lot of hits by snipers, constantly fighting skirmishes, going from one scene to another, and the wear and tear of the situation. A lot of people getting hit, dying, being wounded, dying of their wounds, and us being unable to medevac them.
And sure enough, at 3 o'clock, boom, 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 and 15 minutes later, 3 of the worst casualties I'd ever seen in my life. And these were badly wounded men. I can still see them. And for about a minute, I just stood there and said, geez, where do I start? What do I do?
As we were going in, the Germans were trying to hit our landing craft with shells. Their artillery was firing at us, and plumes of water were coming up. The A&B company did a tremendous job. They paid a price. but they knocked out most of the machine guns and defensive posts.
But I looked out at 6 o'clock in the morning on June the 6th as dawn approached, and I saw more ships than I ever imagined existed. Our landing craft hit a mine and sank. The ramp in the front was blown off, and we were in about 6 feet of water. And under the seawall, I see many German prisoners, plus dead and dying soldiers of ours.
We lost half the squadron in the last 6 weeks of the war. The fat cats were sitting behind their desks saying, "Maximum effort, gentlemen." And we were part of the maximum effort. Your anti-aircraft were murderously accurate. They said, there are no atheists in foxholes. And I can assure you, there were none in the air as well.
We were attacked by a German night fighter. The aircraft was caught fire. Two inboard engines were on fire, and we were ordered to bail out. No time to do anything or argue.
I saw the people, it was enough. The smell, it was enough. I saw people being buried in these gigantic foss. We saw that they were doing it at the time with bulldozers and pushing all the bodies in. I said, it was awful. And I saw generals, American generals, tough sons of bitches, and English generals and Canadian generals walking out of that camp crying.
Really, there was nothing really. We, at that age, you don't really think about that, you know? The reality of it is not really there when you're 17, 18, 19 years old.
It's hard to forget. And that's why for 55 years we never mention it, because it was too horrible to. You have to be there. You have to smell it, touch it, and feel it to know what you went through. And I hope that this younger generation never go through it. That's why I'm here today to tell you of my experience, and hopefully that it'll never happen in our year. Well, I remember all the boys we joined together and went overseas, and a lot of them never came back. And the atrocities of war, this is what I remember on November the 11th, and how few of us are left every year. So many have gone.